Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Transfer News Latest, the daily series where I go over the most recent activity in the transfer market. We have a lot to get into tonight, including an update on Victor Gyokeres, XAVI SIMONS, and more. Let's get into it. Before I get started, I would like to remind you guys to please like and subscribe to the video. It really helps out the channel. Also, comment down below on your thoughts on the current transfer news. Now, we start tonight with the biggest news of the day. Victor Gyokeres to Arsenal is locked and loaded. Here we go. The verbal agreement is in place between all the parties involved. Sporting will accept Arsenal's last bid of over £55 million with an extra £10 million in add-ons. Gyokeres will sign a 5-year deal, and despite some supposed late bids from Manchester United, he only wanted Arsenal. Honestly, I think it's a good job Arsenal finally managed to get this deal done, because over the last few weeks we had been hearing nothing on this story, and I honestly wasn't sure whether this deal was actually going to get done. But now they've actually brought in a genuine 9 and a genuine striker. This could mean that Arsenal could now be challenging for the title. Though, if you ask me, I wouldn't really be surprised if Arteta plays Havertz over Gyokeres and still manages to come second and goes on to blame everything except himself.
We mustn't forget that it's been raining, so the pitch is quite...
It's been raining?
Yeah.
Are you being serious? It's raining for both teams.
Yeah, I know, but...
There is also some more news from Chelsea. After my report from yesterday, talks are now underway between Chelsea and RB Leipzig for XAVI SIMONS, who is keen on a move to Chelsea. Leipzig are said to be willing to sell SIMONS for €65 million, which is about £56 million. Reports are suggesting that Chelsea will do their best to bring that fee down, though given the price of other players in SIMONS' position, it's fairly cheap. For instance, it's been reported that Chelsea were targeting Morgan Rogers and Aston Villa are not willing to sell him for any less than £80 million. So I don't really think Chelsea are going to go in for him anymore. But XAVI SIMONS' move to Chelsea will certainly have some good and bad effects for the club. Firstly, Chelsea will get a world-class player, like who doesn't remember his goal against England in the Euros. And secondly, he can play in the cam role and out on the left, so he'll be a great rotational player for Cole Palmer. And this could also mean some things about some other players, notably Christopher Nkunku and João Felix, who are expected to leave Chelsea during this transfer window, despite no clubs coming in for either of them. Even though Nkunku was linked with Bayern and João Felix would like to return to Benfica, I honestly thought Bayern would go in for Nkunku as soon as the Club World Cup ended. So it's actually quite surprising that the news about that story has quietened down. But anyway, back to the main point. Negotiations have begun for XAVI SIMONS, and I am certain a deal can be locked and loaded soon. Actually, something else for Chelsea. I have seen a report today from L'Equipe that Villarreal are expected to make a loan bid for Axel Disasi. Negotiations between the two clubs were expected to start today, but Chelsea are looking for a permanent deal for Disasi to move away from the club this transfer window. So it remains to be seen whether Chelsea will be willing to send Disasi out on loan again. Honestly, I would send him out on loan, mainly because no one else has come in for him, and it would be good just to say he's gone and he's off the books, and then you can worry about him at a later date. I mean, for all we know, Villarreal might want to keep Disasi after his loan. But who knows? And as for Raheem Sterling, there is also an update. In a report by Ben Jacobs, Raheem Sterling seems to be drawing interest from Juventus and Bayer Leverkusen. Chelsea are willing to hear offers in the region of £20 million. Honestly, I don't really care where he goes, I just want to see the back of him. He's been a thoroughly underwhelming player since he joined Chelsea, and I really don't think he's been the same since his days at Man City. And keeping with the Bayer Leverkusen theme, in the last hour Sky Sports Germany has announced that Granit Xhaka has reached a full agreement with Sunderland agreeing on a deal until 2028, with the option to extend another year. Now, Sunderland's attention has been turned to agreeing a deal with Leverkusen for the player. Right now, Leverkusen are asking for €20 million for him, which is about £17 million. I'm sure both clubs will come to an agreement, though a part of me honestly thought that if Xhaka was to ever return to the Premier League, he would return to Arsenal. Evidently not, but this is certainly beginning to look like a Premier League season that will definitely be one to watch, as the transfers being made make it look like the results of the Premier League will be impossible to predict. After all, Man City is spending endless amounts of money, Liverpool is as well, and bringing in insane names. Chelsea are also spending a lot, buying up basically all the future stars. Leeds and Sunderland are spending enough to make sure they stay up. Forest is just being criminal. And then there's Man United, who aren't doing as much, but they're there too. And actually, something else I've only just realised is Newcastle United have made a bid for Yoane Wissa worth about £25 million. This was rejected by the Bees, so Newcastle are preparing a £30 million bid. And Newcastle are optimistic in getting Wissa, but Spurs are reportedly in for him as well, and Wissa is open to joining either of the two clubs. So we'll just have to wait and see what unfolds there. On to some different news. There has been news that Calhanoglu was keen on a move back to Turkey this summer. Well, it has been reported by Fabrizio Romano in a statement by his agent that Calhanoglu will stay at Inter Milan. Apparently, he never asked to leave Inter and no negotiations were held with any other clubs. So the story that he wanted to leave was probably just one of those hoaxes and stuff for him, I guess. Still a bit strange though. And going back to the Premier League for our final story, Manchester United have made a shock bid to sign Aston Villa goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez on loan, as they look to bring in a goalkeeper to replace Andre Onana. And unsurprisingly, they failed, because he is either going to leave Villa on a permanent deal or he will stay at Villa. So I don't really know why United have gone and done that, and this really does make me hope United go for Lamens or are stuck with Onana. Because if you're asking for a loan move for one of the best goalkeepers in the world right now, you aren't right in the head. Because, like I've said literally 2 seconds ago, there is no way Villa are going to accept a loan move for Martinez. But, truthfully, who knows what will happen with United. They've finally brought in Mbeumo, and now they still need a striker and a better goalkeeper than Onana and Bayinda, but still. They may still have a month, but United takes about a month to agree on any deal for any player. So they better get moving, or fans are going to have to wait for European football for another year. That was a rather grim note, but that's all I have for the transfer news tonight. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to get your comments in on your thoughts on the current transfer news. Thank you, and goodbye.